Alexei Navalny's detention in Russia has drawn sharp condemnation from Western countries. Washington on Saturday rebuked Moscow over its use of quote-unquote harsh tactics against the protesters. State Department spokesman Ned Price said in a statement, I quote, U.S. strongly condemns the tactics against the protesters and journalists. Navalny being taken into custody and the arrest of his supporters were troubling indicators of further restrictions on civil society and fundamental freedoms, unquote. Meanwhile, Russia has accused the United States diplomats of publishing Navalny rally routes. European Union Foreign Policy Chief has also condemned the crackdown on the protesters in Russia. Joseph Borrell said, and I quote, I deplore the widespread detentions, disproportionate use of force, cutting down internet and phone connections, unquote. Canada also voiced deep concern and urged Moscow to immediately release those detained during the protests in Russia. In New York, a group of protesters came out in solidarity with their counterparts in Russia. The protesters gathered outside the Russian consulate in New York's city, Upper East Side.
And you can't really have any kind of public protest in Russia anymore. So millions of people out in the streets in Russia right now, and hundreds getting arrested just for, pretty much protesting and speaking up their opinion about Putin. And they obviously want him out. So think about it, like you want Trump out of the office, people can't do anything to get Putin out of the office. And pretty much there's no human rights. Putin is not a president, he's a mafia guy.
In Paris, protests were held in support of Alexei Navalny. The crowd held up posters demanding Russian leaders' release. Meanwhile, in Germany, protesters gathered in central Berlin, joining their counterparts in dozens of cities across Russia. Demonstrators marched from the German Chancellor's office to the Russian embassy. Demonstrations were also held in the Baltic states of Lithuania and Estonia. Several hundred people gathered at Freedom Square in the center of the Estonian capital and marched to the Russian embassy. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.